The investigation starting on Twilight Drive in Charleston. It was November 30th, 1991. Police found an abandoned and bloodied CNH taxi cab, but the driver, Bobby Adams, had simply vanished. Now, just shy of 3 decades later, we're opening up this case in this latest Eyewitness News Investigates Cold Cases.
You know, not knowing where he is, that's the part that hurts.
That was 1991, and that was Bobby Adams's dad, still driving a CNH taxi cab just like his son, who at the time had been missing for 3 weeks.
I hate to think that he's dead, but, you know, under the circumstances, I can't think of anything else. He wouldn't have stayed away this long.
A lot has changed in the 3 decades since that interview, but one thing hasn't. Bobby Adams is still missing.
It is a very bizarre case.
The 31-year-old was last seen driving the cab on Washington Street East around 4 o'clock in the morning that Saturday. By 5 o'clock that evening, a puzzling discovery by a neighbor.
Adams' cab was discovered late Saturday afternoon in a wooded area off Twilight Drive. A parking light was broken. The other damage occurred as it was towed from an embankment. A large pool of blood covered the rear floor and seat. His colleagues at CNH are at a loss to explain what happened.
I think it's a shame that a man can't go out and make a living without getting shot or cut up.
But at the time, police didn't know if the blood came from Adams or someone else.
We kind of even weren't sure if he was the victim or maybe even the suspect.
Right. At that time, you had no clue because you have the cab, you have the blood, and no one around it.
Adams was just a little more than 5 feet tall and weighed only 110 pounds. Police had little to go on, but did release that Adams was seen that morning with a white man with medium-length blonde hair who was between 35 and 40 years old.
We don't know at this point whether that was a fare, a friend, or whatever. It could have been anything.
That person never came forward.
Police putting out a nationwide search for Adams. They used dogs and dragged the Elk River from boats the next day, searching for clues that never came.
A woman has called CNH several times with tips, but she refuses to identify herself.
Cab drivers across the capital city were shaken.
You can feel the tension in the air from all the drivers.
Police did learn some about Adams. He was married and had children who lived in Huntington. In the trunk of his cab, police found Christmas presents for them. Investigators also learned he had been making trips out of state, driving the cab.
To New Jersey, New York area. Unknown why he was taking those trips. But we know he was getting paid to take those trips, and he was in the cab.
A break in the case coming when the blood found in the cab came back matching Adams's blood type. But police have never said if it was indeed his or determined how it got there.
The amount of blood that was found inside the taxi cab, they felt, and I felt, that no one could survive that.
Police have been flooded with stories and rumors about Adams, even receiving tips in the last 5 years.
There's people that are witnesses in this case or gave statements in this case or associated with this case that are still living in Charleston.
Callers have claimed he's still alive. Others swear he's been murdered. But police are confident someone knows the truth and could lead them to a solid conclusion.
I strongly feel that there's people still living here in Charleston that have information or even their own theory of what happened to Bobby Adams, and we wish they'd call in.